All right, cyber traders, good morning and welcome on back here to a brand new week inside our live trading room this Monday, July 11th. Great to see Norman, Grant, Brian, Kathleen, Henry, Bob, Mark, Wendy, John from before, all of us just live inside the trading room. Great to see you all there. Great to see all of us back on social media, Facebook Live and YouTube. Once again, my name is Josh Levitan, Levitan tagging in for Fausto this morning. I think he's going to be back, if not tomorrow, then I believe by Wednesday this week. Hey, we have a very busy morning ahead of us here, folks, not just with, brand new week within the market. There should be a lot moving, not just to say that, but also I know that, later on this week, we should have the July inflation, the CPI numbers come out. So that should lead to some pretty big moves within the market collectively this week. And then, like I'd said before, before I started this meeting, actually, for all of us inside the live trading room, we have the phase one stock course beginning today. So we're going to restart the curriculum or continue our curriculum, I should say, begin the phase one course this morning at 10:30 this morning. We're going to look to go over more so like the volume related tools that we look to trade with. So that meaning level two, we'll start with level three, not as much level four book map, at least within the phase one course. We'll do that more within the intermediate course, the phase two, later on next week. We'll introduce level four then likely and really dig into it, the horizontal orange and red lines, the dots on level four book map. But this month we're going to really dig more into the volume related tools that we look to use. But with that, PLRX making a really nice move this morning, ended up making a strong pop early on from like 10. It ended up gapping up and then it pulled back down and bottomed out exactly right over 10. And then from there, ended up making this beautiful run up since. So, that's easy to say, but this stock actually had a pretty thin order book throughout the pre market. So you had to be pretty disciplined with getting the right entry at the right time. Otherwise, you could deal with a nasty shake like you ended up just seeing shortly going into the 9 o'clock move there. Ended up failing to break higher, and even if it does break higher, that's not a guarantee of a continued move up. That's where you see a false breakout and see the same result as you just had there. Ended up just failing to squeeze up and snap back down. So with that, I mean, hey, it's recovering here, but you don't want to be stuck holding on because you don't know when it's going to look to truly reverse and really begin to drop off that much sharper on the way down. So at least to say the news out on PLRX this morning, it had to do with let's see. I want to get the pronunciation right. How about this? PLRX shares trading higher after the company said its treatment for idiopathic pulmonary fibrosis was well tolerated in a phase 2A study. There we go. So, nice little headline there. Led to a great reaction so far. Now, the thing is on this trade, if you just look on the daily chart, the weekly chart, or the monthly chart, either way, there's not much support historically. You see it a little bit kind of like based off the lows here around like 19-ish, maybe like 1950, maybe as high as 20. So, that's pretty far away from where this is trading right now. Is that a guarantee for it to make a move up there later today? No, but it's a nice plan. It's something to think about. Should we happen to see continuation later on or after the open, this could easily dump off and come right back down. History has a tendency to repeat itself for as much as it dropped over the last year plus. Once the volume dies off on this stock, look what just happened before. So, you don't want to have that happen at the exact highs and for it to really come back down. That's what I was just saying a moment ago. So, with that, I'll put this on our list. Hopefully, it does make a stronger push up, throughout the morning. It gets closer to that like 19-ish, 20-ish area. All right, but I'll tell you what. I want to make sure that we have enough time for class later on this morning. Make sure that our students have enough time to prep up and make sure they're good to go for the morning. The market open here. Let's just go right from top to bottom. At least we had a pretty active pre-market here. The TBLT trade was another one that popped prior to the morning meeting. At least here ended up taking off from 2 up towards 310. Then from that point pulled back down. So, pretty flat here heading into the open. This is where I could at least say that you don't want to get stuck holding on to any position from pre-market into the open. It's definitely possible to see another pop, but this gives you the chance to reset, gives you a chance to kind of sell and just take profit if you're able to catch the initial pop. But otherwise here, hey, we'll look to follow this after 9:30. Looks like it's just going to begin to pull back a little bit further, I'd imagine first. You have a support level here at 254. You would assume 250 to be a big level, but already at 254, there's about a 26,000 share order on the bid. So that should complement 250, if anything, pretty nicely there. All right, let's keep it going here. You got a bunch of cheapies on the top of the gainer side here. Now, I did see some pops earlier on DWAC and Fun. I did not even check the news out on them this morning. I just put them on the watch list and right away posted the book map links, the level 4 HTML links for all of us inside the live trading room. I always look to do that. Just first. We always tend to follow the big money, the volumes, so that always takes top priority. So let's see. News out on DWAC and Fun this morning. These two stocks are affiliated with one another under the Trump Truth Social merger deal. So I think it's just a reaction off of just simply Elon terminating his deal with Twitter. That's all. There's nothing really specific with DWAC or Fun that came out news-wise aside from just saying it's moving in sympathy or moving inversely, so to say, with Trump, with Elon backing away from his proposed Twitter deal. So I was going to get to that later this morning anyway. I had a feeling that was the case. It was just more correlation with that. But nonetheless, I mean, hey, if they're active in pre-market, they should be active after the open. So I'll put them back on our list here. DWAC. PHUN. Those two, at least to begin. There's another one that's affiliated with those two that move, at times, but I'm not going to look at that one unless it's really making a good move. So these two should be pretty tradable at least. DWAC, I would say, will have a very thin order book when the market opens up. It used to be really liquid, but man, I'll tell you, of late, just I guess a lot less volume traded on it of late. Even if it was moving up or down, just to say, like, just less volume equals less momentum. And we've seen a lot less volume on the order book for DWAC. Fun, you happen to see just right here. It's very liquid, tight spread. Just 1,000 share orders at every price. So that will kind of continue. That's more of like a level 1 or 2 stock as we would categorize it. So, hey, these two I'll put on our list here as well. Yeah, the MULN stock, at least after 8 o'clock, this one ended up making a pretty nice move going into 8:30, right? Ended up popping and then making a nice steady trend up off of 120, 121. Most recently, this ended up holding over the VWAP to try and lead to another push up. It has yet to do so. So, just be careful. If it fails to do that, you could see a shake back down here pretty quickly. But MULN I'll put back on our list here as well, just seemingly looking to be pretty active again this morning. A lot of pre-market volume being traded on this one, so again, that's where we hope to see this make a faster pop or at least better move once the market opens. If not right away, then give it the first 15-30 minutes, then you look for that true direction at least afterwards. All right, this UXIN's been teasing us all morning, I feel, and it's still like grinding on up. But I thought this was going to make a better pop after 8 o'clock. I didn't. I don't think I put this on the main watch list at the time, but I called it out saying it was over or testing Friday's high from last week. So with that, it popped above it or grinded above it rather. Hey, it's up over 12% now. I'll put this on our watch list going into the open. But to be transparent with you personally, if you're asking me what I'm watching going into the open, it's the PLRX, the MULN trade myself, and then one of my side list stocks. So hey, if TBLT makes a really good move after the market opens, and one of us inside the trading room calls it out, or UXIN for that matter here, or DWAC or Fun, then hey, if I'm not in a trade, then I'll jump to one of those. But if you're asking me what I'm starting off with personally, right at 9:30, it's the PLRX and it's the MULN trades myself, and then one of my side list stocks. So this one's still pretty active, and hopefully this does make a great move after. With every reason, I'm going to put this on the main list. And again, if I'm not in anything and one of you folks calls this out right away, I'm going to jump over to it myself. That's how the trading room works, pretty much, right? Our DHL, not so much here. This one very flat, made a nice pop in pre-market, dumped all the way back down. All right. I think that's pretty much it here for a Monday, folks. Maybe because of the inflation data coming out, the CPI numbers coming out later this week. I think that's on the 13th. We should happen to have, a little hesitation before that, but then once that comes out, then we should see some big moves within the market, within crypto, of course, with that. So we'll see. Markets, obviously gap down going into the morning here today. And last I checked on the SPY, they were testing Friday's lows already. So I don't know if they broke lower from that point from where I left off on it. And cold. natural gas ETF ended up making a nice steady drop at least after 8 o'clock. So, I can't short this myself, but if we happen to see a bounce on this trade, this could be a pretty nice one to follow. If you happen to do well on ETFs consistently or follow ETFs more so than anything, then this is definitely a good one for you to, watch going into the open. If you are not someone who consistently trades or follows ETFs like on a day-to-day basis, then I think there's plenty of other stocks I'm putting on the watch list here that you should follow yourself more, right? I'm saying the same myself on that, right? I'm still going to follow PLRX, MULN at the open personally, but cold, I mean, doesn't get better than this downtrend at least. So, if there is a nice bounce later on, then that could be a nice trade for all. If it is shortable for you on your platform, then even better. All right. What goes up comes back down. Fausto often says twice as fast. Not always true, but that's more of a joke than anything, right? That's the more of just like kind of rule of thumb, like just to say you don't want to get stuck holding on to a losing bag because USEA here we ended up putting on our watch list from Thursday and Friday of last week, and made some good day moves for us back then, but ended up closing red both days, and obviously pushed off going into the pre-market here this morning down over or near 11% now. So right now I'm not as keen to follow this year. All right, we keep it going, we keep it moving here. Tide, same thing on this as the USEA trade. I don't know why I even clicked that, to be honest with you. Mara dropped off with the market with crypto with Bitcoin, so down near 7%. If you could short it, maybe, but it's a little flat going into the market open, albeit it's kind of like dropping off a little bit lately the last few minutes. But I mean, I'm sure Riot's making the same type of move. So I don't know. I like the ones on the gainers list a little bit more, unless if there's anything that's shortable that, I mean, again, well, hey, we just talked about it, right? Twitter. So alongside DWAC and Fun, which are moving based off of Twitter, Twitter moving because of Elon backing out from his deal officially. So I don't know if there's going to be an official lawsuit filed, on him for that or whatever the case may be. That will lead to a new reaction on Twitter. This will just be a stock to follow ultimately for the next several months. It has been already, right? It has been. We've had this on our list frequently with that, but even now more than ever. So just because Elon backed out of the deal, that doesn't mean that Twitter is gonna, not really be a volatile stock. It's gonna be even more of a volatile stock now than ever. So, I'll put Twitter on our main watch list. I don't have my book. Oh, actually, let me check. I might have it actually open from Friday last week. Yeah, I do. All right, give me a quick sec. I'm gonna bring up Bookmap level 4 on this stock. All right, give me a quick sec. Little bad radio here for a couple seconds here, but voila, how about that? I got bookmap level 4 here for Twitter this morning. You could see a big iceberg, not just at, or not only to be assumed at 35. There's not one there right now, but you would assume resistance to be at a whole number like 35, $5 incremental level here as well. But look what's been there since at least 8:30, a little bit afterwards. 14 15k order sitting there, 35.15. Now, is that going to be that big in the grand scheme of things? Well, it's the biggest one out there in pre-market so far that's currently out there, at least for right now, up until 36. That's pretty far away. So, I would treat 35.15 as a pretty strong top, at least for right now, heading into the market open. It'll be a nice complementary level to 35 whole number. All right, so we got Twitter at least from the loser side on our watch list. BEKE could be one. I think this is a Chinese stock that is just normally tradable on a day-to-day basis. Has been shortable on my platform for a little while. It's just a little spotty here in pre-market this morning. So, a gap down. There's a few different Chinese stocks that are down this morning like that. Made a nice gap this morning early in pre-market. BILI, my NEO, I ended up lining up Neo. Neo is the third out of my three that I took the time to chart. So that's my sideless stock. Nothing special about it. Pretty big iceberg resistance at 2250 currently. But that's all I got for you. Hey, if you'd rather follow Fun or Twitter or MULN or UXIN or TBLT or any of the others on the watch list over something like this, then I would agree. that makes sense. Personally speaking, I do well in this stock, so personally, I'm going to follow it. That's all. So, at least for me, it's this, the MULN and PLRX, but we have a really, really good watch list otherwise. So if there's something on Twitter that stands out and someone calls it out, like Wendy or Chuck or Norman or Grant or Leda or anyone else, or, on DWAC or any of the others, I told you, I'm going to jump to it. That's how we work together as a team in our trading room, as the morning begins. Grant right now saying IINN at 272. Now that's been a this stock has teased the ever living you know what out of us over the last week. I mean, let me show you. This is crazy. All of these pops, every one of these pops here took place in pre-market suddenly. This one back from Thursday last week ended up taking place, I think, as we were doing the meeting or right before the morning meeting started. This one was, I think, after 8 o'clock, after 8:30. And now all of a sudden, another big pop here in pre-market going into the market open. But look what happened. Each and every time this thing ended up making said pop. Fool me once, shame on me. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Right? So, with that, I didn't butcher it as bad as former President Bush there, right? But IINN we'll put on our list. It's a good call for right now. How could we not follow this? Norman says IINN knows about the C2 morning meeting. I think they do. Their CEO. That's funny. All right, well, it's a good call for right now. Hopefully that only continues after the market opens from Grant and Mark before him. And Bobby on YouTube. How about that? All right, so I think that's pretty much it, right? I mean, hey, that's a trio of call-outs from us inside the trading room and on YouTube right now live. TBLT is continuing to push up a little bit now at this point, so, that's already on our watch list. All right, I think that about wraps it up, folks. So we're going to put out the watch list in just a moment or two for all of us inside the live trading room and for all of us on social media. We'll look to, post that just in a bit. For all of us on social media, Fausto will be back, I believe, if not tomorrow, then perhaps on Wednesday. I'm going to post my email here at the end of the stream like I always do. So any questions that you may have, send over to josh@c2trading.com. Any questions or feedback or anything to do with our meetings here, our live trading room, our call outs, or education with stock trading or crypto trading, let me know. If you wanted to join our live trading room, that is, just go right down to the link on the blue banner below the stream, right at the end, right at the bottom there, to get yourself started. But for Brian, for Leda, for Grant, Wendy, Norman, and all of us just live inside the trading room right now, like I said, I'm going to post and tweet the pics. Then I'll be back on at the opening bell just to do a full hour of audio commentary. I'll talk to you folks then. Take care.
Become a Cyber Group member today. Just click the link below and receive all these amazing products and a world of knowledge for just $9.